Hello everyone and welcome to episode 9 of Time Starts Now. Now, I'm running out of time. That's ironic. But I pressed the wrong button, guys. I was doing so well last episode where I didn't press the wrong button. But yeah, okay, well since the last episode, I've had feedback on my episodes. And apparently, they can be quite slow and boring at some points. And fair enough, I understand. I just like more classic Minecraft, but I don't understand how people manage to create that content. Like, I don't know, other than like time lapses, what do you want me to do? Just do like an hour-long video of placing blocks? So, I'm trying to think of what to do. I don't have much time at all for episode 9. Episode 9's meant to release right this very second. But yeah, this story, this series is really hitting rock bottom. As for the story, very, very soon a trailer will be released for what's going to happen with the storyline that came with this, and that's going to be its own series where it's fully acted, like not fully acted. I suck at acting. I suck at voice acting. It's terrible, but it's going to be classic. And I'm gonna tell the story of Mist and Misty and CM and kind of do everything over there, and move that. So that becomes its own thing. So that's something that's getting worked on right now, as well as the theater. You know, that's also getting worked on. That server is closed to the public because I would need to I have to find a way to somehow do that. It's gonna take me a while, and there's still things that need to go in there. But yes, so I don't even know what to do. Oh, I didn't bring the sand up here. Oopsie. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with episode 9. I'm just gonna walk around and think. Surely I have no clue. I could craft some concrete powder, I guess. Because in all technicality, yeah, look, we got wood. It's going in slowly. Which means we're gonna have to start moving things around, but we've got our oak, our spruce, and our birch. And then I'm thinking other types, just depending on what order I get them in. And they're not all gonna fit here on this wall, or around this corner. But we do have this wall over here where I can get a small amount. I've dug these walls in a little bit more. Really, yeah. It's not that I'm losing interest, it's just when I've never done solo Minecraft survival for a long period of time like this. Because this is episode 9, it means I'm running on 9 weeks, which is just over 2 months. Episode 8 marked 2 months, so episode 9 marks a month and a week-ish. But it's really difficult. It's really difficult to grind for everything. Like I'm just so not here for that. Like, not that I want to finish this. I want to make it look impressive, and this story behind everything. Like, this clock tower here. It's the second iteration of it. The first iteration was in another Minecraft series, and that's a part of the timeline for how it got here. That's a part of that timeline. I think it was the last server I was on, or at least the last server that I can fully remember. I was building a town, like a Christmas-themed town, and it was a clock tower decorated for that. But the inspiration for the clock tower and why I would build a clock tower in the first place comes from another YouTuber, and I'm going to credit them right now. And their name is Zombie Cleo. You may know her from Hermitcraft. They did in season 9 of Hermitcraft, I think it's season 9, did a game called Blood on the Clock Tower, which I have played. It's so fun. And so that's where the clock tower design comes from. And that's where the original clock tower was made. And then when I built the new design, it was actually made for another thing that I was doing with that I was going to do with my friends that involved building another town. Um, and then I was like, I love this design, but that other project came to a halt. I have a theme of just starting things and never finishing things, so it just becomes this like, if I finish this series now because I'm too lazy to continue it, why? So that's I was like, okay, well this clock tower needs to be seen. I want the internet to see the clock tower. So here it is, right here. This is the clock tower. The lighthouse is an original design. I love how I was able to build it in one episode. I believe this episode that I built this in is literally the least viewed episode on my channel. Shockingly. I can't believe episode 8, the second most boring video on my channel, has the most views. I still don't believe that. Like, that's absurd. Come on, guys. Do you prefer the more boring content, or is the storyline the boring thing? Because that's why I'm splitting it. That's why I'm splitting the series. I'm putting in Time Starts Now, it's just going to be a survival series, classic Minecraft, where I build and I work up to defeating the Ender Dragon, and I have a few other quests to fulfill as well on that journey. Like that's all gonna be here. All the story stuff I'm transferring into its own season or series, and that series is going to be, I think it's gonna be like a short series, but the episodes are gonna be longer. But those episodes are going to be like once a month or something, so I have a month to really work on all the fancy camera angles and all the sound and music and all that. Like I need time to work on that to make that look good. And like in that I need to write I literally have a document now where I am writing out the timeline, the full entire timeline that starts in 2020 and comes all the way out here to 2025. Like I have this full timeline written out and I will show it to you right now. Okay, so I don't know if I cut myself off, but basically I said there's a timeline, and so here we are inside of the set from episode 7, and here is this lovely timeline on the wall, and as you can see, it starts in 2020 and goes all the way up to 2025, so this one, sign, you need to rewrite it, but it's essentially the origin of Misty and Mist, and then the flashback that happened in episode 6 takes place right here in August to December of 2020. That's when Misty and Mist had quote unquote their own series. This is entirely made up just for the sense of the story. Then we have Christmas Season 1, which is also entirely made up for the story, but is meant to tie into those Christmas specials, but I haven't quite done that yet. And then Mist's Return and Christmas Season 2 are, again, two made up things that are going to come into that new series, and so that we can timeline those correctly. And then we enter when I started playing really with my friends, and so there was a server called The Swamp, and that had 3 seasons to it. I'm pretty sure there might have been 4. That had 3 seasons, and as you can see, they kind of, the one was, they kind of spaced themselves out a little bit. And then for the other story, which will mention the theatre, I need to talk about the fact that the theatre was built and the theatre was redone. The theatre was actually built in May-June of 2022. This is true. I did build it then. And then the theatre being redone was done for Christmas, and then that's when the domes came in, but the Christmas tree did not stay. And then a new server in 2023 started up, and I believe it was called Brain Breaking, and I know for a fact that we had 2 of those. That then transformed into The Realm, which then had 2 seasons before I left. And then that's when I started planning Time Starts Now. Time Starts Now started, and then TSN Christmas, which is episode 5, 6. And then Time Starts Now, of course, continuing. Misty HQ is its own original thing that I don't know if it's going to get its own series as well on top of everything else. And then all these question marks equaled up to everything else. So, this is going to be the most boring video on my channel, guys. So, let's discuss. When looking at the 2025 timeline, I realized how much time I have on my hands, and that's not a lot of time. It is ironic. And so, well, I will try to keep Time Starts Now going. The episodes may slow down, or may become more boring, or could become really short or something. I don't know. It might become I release a Time Starts Now video every second week. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like I'm betraying my promises here. Misty HQ, I honestly think that that little gag that I did at the beginning of episode 7, I thought was really fun and really cool. So I'm planning on making another series that's maybe more for children. Um and making that like super child friendly and kind of just fun, lighthearted, kind of inspired by the not inspired by The Office. I would say something more like Superstore, if anyone knows that show. And that would be mostly done in here with staff over tables, but then we'd also have maybe um I don't know if that would include behind the scenes of these things or whatever, but that's just kind of what comes in. And then we have this next series, which I'm trying to keep as much as a surprise as possible, because the trailer's going to drop. And at the end of that trailer, there's going to be a month, and I'm going to decide that month, and then I'm going to make sure that everything for one episode of that is done by that month. Whether that month is March or April or even May, I don't know. Gives people something to look forward to, but it's going to be quite far ahead as I am still working on Time Starts Now and the theatre, and with Misty HQ now entering the chat. I want to get that kind of started up, and I'm trying to keep the creative juices flowing, but it's like I don't want to make Time Starts Now so boring. It like look what we're literally doing right now. We're staring at a wall of signs, and I'm talking. And I these aren't spoilers really. These are just blocks and all that. For those of you who didn't get a close up look at the set, this is the set, hand built because I can. And I did keep these doors above here just to kind of keep the doors, keep the signs above here just to kind of keep in keeping. Um, but yeah, like Misty HQ is very much it's a bland building on the outside, but I love the interior. I don't know, it feels very officey with the smooth sandstone roof and the copper bulbs lining it. I added the chandelier for effect, and the lighting's all spotty on purpose in here. It's not meant to be smooth or anything. It just adds depth to the world. Yes, and the chandelier is centered with the chairs, not with anything else. So yeah, this could just be episode 9, me just talking. Let's head back to Time Starts Now. So the question that like dawns on my head is what's next in Time Starts Now. I have these spawn chunks outlined. I just went to go fly, that's how done I am. I have these chunks outlined. I still haven't found out if this chunk here is actually a slime chunk yet. I haven't built or made any more progress on the moss farm, and it's like I don't know what to do. And that's the one thing that I have is just like I don't do solo. I don't do solo. I feel like I'm going insane trying to do everything. Yeah, so I'll put it out there. I would love to join a server that already has other people who make YouTube videos that does little bits of story here and there that will keep the creative juices flowing. But just having other people to help you gather resources and like create fun storyline stuff, that's like what I'm looking for, and I'd love to work on something with others. And I know that that's a tricky thing, but I know there are so many small Minecraft YouTube channels that are slowly, very, very slowly growing. And it's like I would start my own server or something like that, but I don't even know where to start in the recruiting process. Do I just start randomly messaging people, and do I have a Discord that I can invite them to, and like how many people should there be, and all that. I want to point out I ran into a new server. I didn't run into a new server. I found a new server thanks to a channel, and I can't remember the channel's name. I'm so sorry to this person, and I can't even remember the server's name. What was the server's name? It was like, oh, what was it? It was something. I feel like it was something craft, but I feel like it was craft something. And it had a decent sized cast, and they'd just done a little story bit using the using the Deep Dark, which I found really hilarious because they opened a portal, and I was like, hold on a minute. And I'm like watching this video, and I'm like, there's so many things that are similar to what I've done, but I know that it's a completely different story and that I've never heard of them and they've never heard of me. And so I was like, wait, oh, this is so cool. There are other people who do this kind of stuff. Like, I want to do that. I want to do that. And they had friends, and I was like, I wish I had friends. I hope that I'll have other voices feature on the channel. Um, but yeah, I think this. Mm, I'm not going to say this is the end of Time Starts Now, but I'm saying that Time Starts Now. It needs something. I need to find out. I'm not a good Minecraft player. Minecraft's like, I don't even call myself a gamer. That's like the whole thing. I can play other games. I was thinking, do I do a video on Phasmophobia? No, because I can't do that solo, and Lethal Company's a similar thing. And I was like, oh, there's the escape room simulator game that's kind of going off at the moment. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should play that. That's a really fun game. I love escape rooms. And then I was like, oh, but what if I did escape rooms in Minecraft? And I searched up for escape room worlds on Minecraft. Turns out that every single escape room world involves something horror, and I love horror, but I hate horror. Can't do it solo. Sucks. I love escape rooms though. If there's anyone who watches this video who loves Minecraft escape rooms or loves to make one, or has always been looking to make one and have it featured somewhere, please go ahead and make one. And then maybe, just maybe, I can feature it on my channel. And yeah, I'm just getting back into command block stuff, and so I'm like, what if I just made my own and featured that in a video? That wouldn't make sense. What if I did like what Scott's Major does, and it's like, I built an escape room for my friends to escape from. What friends? I know some of my friends watch this channel, so guys, please don't defriend me. Yeah, and I'm young, but I'm not young. I attend a university, and that's gonna start up soon, and then my time's gonna become even more limited. Which is why I'm like, if I do the other series, it's gonna be one video a month. And there's only gonna be like 6 episodes of it or something, and it's only gonna last till like December. And then there'll be another Christmas special thing and all that. But yeah, I've been recording for 20 minutes and I've just been talking non-stop, and literally nothing's happened. No time lapses, no blocks. I did place some blocks technically. No, nothing big. This is so boring. I'm just gonna have to figure out something else for episode 9. And maybe release this video later at a different date. Anyway, bye!